So just to give you an idea, when I talk about proactive, versus reactive tools, just to show you where, most companies in our space, where they live is up in this top area. So this is kind of the overview of our company and our structure and our services. So most companies in our space, geez, I'll tell you, in the GTA alone, there's probably about 400 companies that consider themselves, in the MSP, managed services, IT services, security services, etc. Most of them live up here in the reactive side of the business. As you can see, like even in our space, cloud services, it's a tool, it's a reactive service. So that gets managed by our centralized team that manages like our monitoring tool, the security tool like firewalls, antivirus, etc., our backup and disaster recovery services. So that really comes kind of under that fold. And you have obviously your ticketing system. Any reactive provider is going to have some sort of help desk. You have a problem, you can call them. You want an opinion, you can call and ask for their opinion, etc. But outside of those things, they're not really going in and having any kind of process and procedure behind that to really look at things. So really, why most people work with us anyways, and where people see the best results, is having a proactive service. Ours comes in these three areas: our alignment team, our consulting team, and our client success team. Just to whiz through them super quick, like our proactive, standard and alignment team. This is a means where we're actually looking. We probably have a little over 100 line items of things that we're checking regularly within every environment. Whether you're in a cloud, the Microsoft cloud, our own private cloud, it doesn't matter. By the way, just so you know, the Azure cloud, there's no real like wizardry behind it. It is a data center with Windows servers. Granted, those are, the hierarchy of it managed by Microsoft. But once it gets to our level and your level, we're being provided with basically the framework of Windows servers. We still have to go in and set up and manage and maintain those Windows servers, just like we set up, a physical server in your office. The same management, except, the only exception is we don't have to maintain the hardware anymore. We do still have to update and patch and secure, etc. So just because you're in someone's cloud, you can't take it for granted that you're all of a sudden on this proactive service and everything is being done. I can tell you with the majority of our marketplace, the opposite is true. So really, by having this process of, looking into standards and security alignment, aligning you to best practices and IT known standards, really the only way to know that your business is secure. It's great to have security tools, your antivirus, your firewall, phishing protection, all the other tools are great. But unless you have a process for looking at these things, because that's the other thing people don't understand around IT. As much as it's, mechanical and it's, processors and storage and hardware and software, it's very organic. As you add users, take users away from a network, as you update and patch systems, as you add software, remove software, it changes the organics of what you have within your network. So these things need to be constantly looked at. You as a business need to be reported to specifically exactly what's going on. Otherwise, you have what I call blind spots. And blind spots are the unknown of, I don't know what's going on with IT in the background, because, hey, nobody has a process for looking at it. I'll give you an example of a blind spot I see with most small businesses. I ask them, if you had some sort of a major failure, fire, flood, disaster, or whatnot, disgruntled employee grabs your server and runs out of the office, what is the process and timeline to get you and your business back up and running? Most people think, oh, well, I would call my IT provider and yeah, they'll get us up. They don't know what the process is. They don't know how long it takes. And sadly, most of them don't know that the average in that scenario is probably about 4 to 5 business days at a minimum to get your business back up and running from one of those scenarios, if you are on a more standard type of backup service versus, one of the more modern, like disaster recovery, business continuity approaches. Anyways, kind of to keep moving on, when you align to specific standards, It reduces that noise, like the amount of issues and things like that that your people might see. It gives them a better experience. And then it ensures all your tools are managed and configured properly. Again, you can't just take it for granted everything is happening, or you don't want to hear from your IT people. Well, you should at least be reported specific information from your IT people. And then our second proactive team comes around strategy. But again, it's another area that every business, small or big, needs to be proactive around strategy as well, and planning. I mean, it just helps you make the right IT decisions, helping you control costs, and lets you know exactly where you stand. Certainly with our strategy team, they're getting the information and feedback and metrics from all the other service delivery areas, and then coming to you speaking in plain terms about, here's the results that we're seeing today. Here's where we think we could put some time and attention or budget to get you better results. Here's what's slowing your people down right now, and here's how we might improve that. Cloud services may even be an answer for you for being more agile and whatnot. But decisions like what cloud to move to, moving to the cloud just in general, how to do it, when to do it, what's the right way, what's the right platform to be on, what's the best plan, all comes out of our strategy team. Most of our clients do not have internal IT resources. So most of them, they don't know what questions to ask. They don't know when to ask for, opinions and things like that. You need somebody proactively that understands your business, that's constantly looking at things and helping you make these decisions, versus you trying to do them yourself. And our last proactive team is our client success team. And they're the ones that are responsible for all the reporting that we do, tracking all the metrics and KPIs around IT, and really just making sure that you as a business, as well as your employees, are seeing success with IT. Like, you make most businesses' biggest investment is in their people and in their payroll. Most businesses' people are working on IT all day, every day. So where can you see, a certain return on investment in this big investment you're making in your people and your payroll? It's around IT. So we definitely want to ensure that you are getting the most out of your investment dollars in your people by making sure that they can be as productive as possible doing their jobs and using the technology that you've implemented, and also trying to help you implement technologies you may not even be aware of today that could help you and your people get their jobs done better. So reporting is a big thing. And, I mentioned I meet with a lot of people and I ask them, well, how is everyone? Oh, my IT people are great and they're doing a great job. How do you know? Like, well, they do all this stuff in the background and I think everything is good. Well, without the lack of reporting, I can just tell you this. Most people think their IT people are checking everything and doing all this work after hours, overnight, and things like that. Yet they just don't tell them about it or show them any kind of reporting related to it. I can tell you the reporting part is the easy part. The hard part is creating that structure and process and proactive culture within your IT business. The reporting part is easy if you have that process and procedure in place. So if you're not getting any kind of really good reporting around metrics, KPIs, and exactly what's going on around IT, I'm going to tell you, as a company 20 years ago, that was also a very reactive company, that used to tell my clients the same thing because we had every intention of being proactive. We just didn't have that process baked in at that time until we revamped everything. And it took us years to develop the process and procedure that we use right now.